are your expectations that people will take on a role right away? Many of you know Cindy Martin, and she tells a story of when she started Toastmasters. It took her 8 months to have a speaking role. Now she's a professional speaker. That's all she does. She does not get paid by anyone except clients to come in and speak. So if you put that expectation on them that they have to get up and give their icebreaker at a certain time, and now that we're in pathways that they have to go through this a certain way, you might run them off. You have plenty of people who are quite comfortable with being the timer and the grammarian and those other things who don't really want to learn to speak, but they do appreciate having a good talk when they're there. How often do you recognize your members? Do you celebrate? I'm a business coach, and I can tell you that the one thing I tell small businesses specifically is to celebrate often and for small things. You do not have to wait until they're the employee of the year. You can celebrate every month. You can find a reason for someone who took the time to bring in the cookies. Have you seen how much people respond to those ribbons that you give out? They love them. I'm just thinking, why do they care about these ribbons? But find out what excites them and celebrate that. Yes?
In our home club, we give out first-time ribbons. Every time somebody takes a new role, they get a first-time ribbon.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yes.
That's pretty good, because let me tell you something that was interesting. I thought that with the two people who were left in Toastmasters in my club, Cindy Martin and myself, both professional speakers, I thought that would be good, right? But people told us later they were intimidated because they thought that I thought they needed to speak like me. Nobody else speaks like me. Some of you are saying, thank God. But the point is, I was thinking that was a benefit. Here you are, you have people who, if you want to be a professional speaker, I can take you through from soup to nuts and everything. And oh my God, I don't want that pressure on me. Okay, great. Will you be the secretary? Oh yes, I love that. Will you be the treasurer? I love doing that. So finding out what their expectations are versus what your expectations are. And your needs might not fit with their needs. Yes, ma'am.
I have a comment regarding recognizing members because we recently implemented.
Can you speak a little louder?
Sorry. We recently, our officer team and our club recently implemented the outstanding member. So we recognize a member each month, and we do that based on points. So we took what Toastmasters International has on their site, kind of tailored it to fit our needs. And someone spoke up here about filling roles. Mm-hmm. So we added in, if you come to a meeting, you get a certain number of points. If you fill certain roles, you get a number of points. And for the roles that we have, the least people fill most often, such as an evaluator, because they're intimidated by that, we give more points for filling in that role. The other question that that was just my comment, but the other question I was going to ask is, I have a club who does not vote. They don't vote for best speaker or anything like that because they feel like they'll make the members who don't win feel less than. Mm-hmm. How do I motivate them to recognize members of other clubs?
You may have to determine that that's not what you need for your club. Just because it's available doesn't mean you should do it. We don't do it. I tried, begged, cajoled, took people to lunch, tried the same thing I did with the chamber president, didn't work out. They were like, we don't want to vote because we're all new and we feel bad if we don't win. So we don't do that. But what we do is we take those little strips where you can have the number 1, number 2, number 3, and we just have them to give feedback. If we have time for round robins, we do that. If we just have a slow day. But they didn't want to do it. They didn't ever get to it, and so I let it go. You talk about club culture. What does your club want? If they don't want that, let it go. You can keep it in the background as you change members, as more people come in, you have a more competitive group, or someone who thinks that's great, then try to reintroduce it. Don't force it. That's one reason people will leave. If they feel like, I don't want to do this. I told her I don't want to do it, and I'm telling her again I don't want to do it, and she still keeps trying to make me do it. We are grown folks, we are volunteers, we don't have to be here. So if it doesn't work, fine. Or be satisfied with, if you have 20 members and only 7 people turn it in, vote with the 7. We've just been through a few elections. We know people go or don't go, regardless of what's going on and how important it is. Some people just don't like the competitive nature. So decide in your officers group if it's a good thing, or if you can just table it, or if you just do it for special events. If you have a Halloween party, then you can give it for best costume or best horror story or something like that, but it might not work for you. And getting back to filling up roles. We just got a new VPE, and I'm glad to say that what he does is, and I'm not necessarily a fan of this, but it's working right now, so I'm becoming a fan. That is, he takes everybody on the roll, calls them, and says, we're trying to get to Distinguished Club. In order to do that, we need these things to happen. Can I count on you to complete a task? Can I count on you to give this many speeches or to serve in this kind of role? And then what he does is he puts them in on the schedule. And he has them to opt out. Right? So he puts them in and they have to opt out. Because we have a good club of people who are really trying to make sure that we work. They will call when they see their name on the schedule. So no, I'm not doing it. So then we still have to find someone. But guess what? Of the, what are there, maybe 8, 10 roles, we have 7 of them that are filled. We maybe only have 3 that are not. So it's working. They like it. They don't like to think about it. And they say, when they see that they're down to give the speech as speaker number 1, or to give the evaluation, they start to study, they start to learn, they start to work on it. And because you have good mentors in the club, as we do, I just say to them, look, don't call me the day before, please, trying to fix your speech. Because the first speech is not that important. It doesn't matter. The first one is just get up there and talk about yourself. You don't have to practice. You can have a conversation. It is about getting over your nerves. Anytime someone does the icebreaker for the first one, I say, look, it doesn't matter what you say. Tell us about something. Tell us about your mama and them. We don't know your mama. You can tell us. You can tell us anything. You can make up stuff. You know, you can tell about your first grade experience. It doesn't matter. Just tell us about you, because we put a lot of pressure on making sure that they met every one of those criteria in the book, right? In the evaluation. No, it doesn't matter. The first time when people get up, just let them talk. Lance Miller does a good job. I think I have him here somewhere. Let me get to him and come back. Lance Miller says the way to get ahead with Toastmasters is to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do. Don't let people spend a whole bunch of time preparing. Actually, I think it's Darren LaCroix. Sorry, I have the world champions up here. I forget which one. They're all amazing. But when we concentrate on the wrong things, it can run people away. Everyone is so busy worrying that they won't be perfect that they don't do it at all. Let them know. The first time it's a big highway crash. It doesn't make any difference. Just come on in. Okay, so how do you get started using the chamber? Some of you may have the opportunity to use the chamber, or you can use your own corporate club like the chamber. With the chamber, we offer the opportunities to speak to the chamber members, because they have regular things every month, so they can see the benefit of us. So if you're in a corporate club, instead of just having your Toastmasters, where it only meets at lunchtime this certain time of day, find out how you, as a Toastmaster, can take on a speaking role in your club, in your corporation, right? It might be about leadership or team building. Toastmasters has a lot of great presentations already set up. All you have to do is customize them. You do that and do it well, and they'll think, oh, your boss will be thinking, that is worth that money I spend every year for them. Plus, it will bring other members in. I go into corporate clubs periodically and speak, and there are always people later who say, oh, that's different than I thought it was. It's not formal all the time. It can be funny. It can be entertaining. And it can be something about more than just how to speak. It's how to be. Leadership. All those things we talked about, that intangible of the friendship part, about how to develop good relationships. Every business needs people to help them understand how to develop better relationships. Do you agree? Communication 101. I will send you any presentation that I've ever done. You are welcome to my PowerPoint, my keynotes. I tell you, not a problem because you can't do it like me. So I will send it to you anyway, and I will help you perfect it.
That's a good avenue to do a speech on mentoring at the chamber, but also in the club, of course. You used a reference before about people thinking they had to present like you did. I like to ask our new members to look around the club, see who has what you would like to have, and ask them to be your mentor.
Very good.
And then that's helps with the flow.
I'm using that. Thank you very much. I'm put it in the pocket. I'm putting that in. But if you're going to get started with the chamber or wherever you are, just figure out what's the benefit to them of you being there. So they know that business communication is a huge thing. So I'll bring in a sales trainer periodically, make sure that people from the chamber know that I have a sales trainer coming in to speak. I give them 15 to 20 minutes instead of 7 minutes. They come and they think, oh, this is some quality stuff I'm getting here. So I'm working the folks that you have. You know, it's to love the one you're with. You can't be with the one you love. You know, snuggle up against somebody. It's all right. So the drawbacks to the chamber would be that we have a really nice big room that will accommodate about 45 people. During the furniture market, we have to give up that room. But they find us another room. And we know well in advance, twice a year, we can't use our room. But otherwise, we have a beautiful room with great AV, with people who can fix the AV, who allow us to print things for free and put things in their news magazine. That's pretty daggone good. $250 a year. Now, does everyone who comes into your club really know about Toastmasters? How many come in? How many of you have people come in who say, I came because I'm trying to figure out what Toastmasters is? And do you explain to them what it is, or do you just say it's leadership and communication? That's what I heard. It's about how to improve the way you communicate and to be a great leader. That might not be important to the person who's there. Find out how they heard about Toastmasters. Did they do it because they happened to see someone who was identified as a Toastmaster in their bio? How many of you put that you're a Toastmaster when you're giving a speech somewhere else? Y'all ain't proud? Don't tell them I'm a Toastmaster. Oh my God. I always put down that I'm a Toastmaster and that I'm with the National Speakers Association. I'm proud of those affiliations. One is about the art of speaking and about developing leadership tools. The other is about the business. It's just how to make money doing it. They definitely work hand in hand. So I always say that that's what I do. And people have come up to me afterward to say, oh, you're a Toastmaster? You're not what I expected. I'm never what anybody expects of me. But the point is that they see something in me. Remember Dhananjaya? How many of you know Dhananjaya? World Championship in 2014. If you don't know about him, go out and look at him on YouTube. He's like the smoothest, most amazing person ever. But his speech was called, I See Something in You. So they see something in me that makes them think, oh, maybe I can do that. Or maybe she will help me. I've had people come up and offer to pay me to be a speech coach. I don't take money to coach people because that's not my thing. I will help you all day long. Now, having said that, maybe I should.